Hey Safe, this is Steven from C&P Auto here in Calgary, and this right here is our 2022 Chevy C8 Corvette Stingray. First things first, I want to thank you for your interest in this unit. This is a very nice example of a C8 Corvette. It has the Z51 performance package. It's a 2LT. It has the magnetic ride control. It's got the adjustable front lift with memory. Whole lot more to go over. Now let's get started with the color combination. So you have matrix ceramic or ceramic matrix gray metallic. That's going to be the exterior. It's got a nice metallic flake in it, and I think it changes a lot depending on the lighting outside. Now the interior is going to be adrenaline red with black accents as well. So adrenaline red and black. But let's pull back a little bit. What is the C8 Corvette? Well, this is the 8th generation of the Corvette. And for the C8, for the 8th generation, things changed big time. They went from a front engine rear-wheel drive layout to, for the first time ever, a mid-engine rear-wheel drive layout. Number of reasons. Number one, how it drives. So in terms of balance, handling, putting the power down as well, a mid-engine, well, let's just say there is a reason why some of the top supercars, top performing vehicles, whether it's from Bugatti, Porsche, Lamborghini, or Ferrari, are this layout. A lot of people feel like the C7 Corvette was maxed out. They did everything they could to get the absolute most performance out of that configuration. And hey, the numbers speak for themselves. They absolutely did. But this changes things quite a bit. Also, how it feels to drive. You sit lower down. You feel more connected. You have that short hood, right? Big windshield. You just feel a lot more connected to the vehicle. And then number three is how it looks. The other day, a father and son were just walking by, and the son goes, "Hey, look, Dad, there's a Lamborghini." And that's kind of what this thing looks like. To the layman who doesn't know it's a Corvette, you take off the badges and they'll think it is an exotic sports car. But in fact, it is an everyday, very practical, yet very high performing sports car. Now, we went over color combo. Let's go over something else that this vehicle has that makes it pretty special. It's got PPF, so paint protective film, on most of the vehicle. That includes the front bumper, the headlamps, the black gloss grille here, the entire hood, entire front fenders, entire doors, mirror caps, A-pillars, roof line, the roof itself, this spot right here. Did I mention the doors? If not, the doors, and then the rear fenders as well. There's only two parts that aren't PPF'd, and that would be the rear bumper and the rear hood. And the reason why, well, those aren't going to get damaged with rocks, unless you're doing something crazy. I don't envision that at all. Now, like I mentioned, this has a Z71 or Z51 performance package, and what that includes, okay, starting up front, you have, or starting around the sides rather, you have summer performance tires. So that's 19-inch 245 width up front and 305 20-inch out back. They're Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's, and yeah, they're some of the highest rated tires that you can get. Now out back, you're probably hearing it, and I'll be sending over another video with the startup and rev and all that, but it has a performance exhaust, which adds an additional 5 horsepower and an additional 5 pound-feet of torque. Other things that the Z51 performance package comes with, well, performance suspension, performance brakes, that rear spoiler, which I think makes a huge difference in just how aggressive this looks. You also get the different gearing, so the performance axle ratio. Now, there's a chance I may be forgetting a couple other things. We'll see if they come up to me. But starting up front, in terms of features, you have striking LED daytime running lamps. You have LED projector headlamps as well. Down below in that gloss black grille, you're going to find 2 cameras, there and there. These are part of the curb camera system. So in a low slung sports car like this, it's very easy to hit a curb without even knowing. right? It's very hard to place a vehicle like this in a parking spot. You got to be careful. So that will come in handy. I'll show you how that works in a moment. Also, I mentioned that it has the front adjustable lift with memory. So right now, and I think it is lifted up right now, the front end is lifted up. Now, why would you want that? Well, obviously you don't want to scratch up or even rip off your front splitter along the front bumper if you're going up a steep driveway or maybe a bumpy road. So there is a button, a hard button, just under center console right there to allow you to manually raise the front end. You can also lower it back with the push of a button as well. But it goes a step further than that. It has memory, and that memory is connected to GPS. So you can set locations in the GPS where the vehicle will automatically lift up. So let's say your driveway is very steep. Pulling into your driveway or before you get there, it will automatically lift up the front end. That way you don't scrape. That comes in very handy. Now around the sides, you have black mirror caps with LED turn signals. These mirrors are power folding. They're power adjustable, of course. They're heated, they're auto dimming, and you have blind spot as well. Comes in handy in a vehicle like this with compromised visibility. Now, out back, you have LED taillights, turn signals, reverse lights, all of that. You have a backup camera right there, the Stingray logo right there, and then you also have a camera up top. And I'll go over that once we get inside. Now down below, you'll find a rear diffuser with quad exhaust tips. You have backup sensors, and you also have vents here for cooling, heat exchange. Now, because this is a Corvette, it still has to maintain a certain level of practicality. The old front engine Corvettes were known to have a pretty roomy hatchback, so trunk area. This continues that theme. So up front you have a fully lined front trunk. Of course, your wind wash fluid reservoir is right there, and your brake fluid's right there. Hey, I just noticed you also get a 12-volt DC plug in there. Nice. This closes up. And then out back, a couple things to go over. Number one, this window not available on the convertible. This is a hardtop coupe, so you get the window. More on that in a second. Now back here you have your actual trunk. It's aligned as well. When Chevy was designing this vehicle, one thing that one goal they had in mind is that the rear cargo area would still fit 2 sets of golf clubs, and it does. And then ahead of that, you have the heart of this vehicle. It's a 6.2 liter naturally aspirated V8 small block Chevy. Puts out 495 horsepower and 490 pound-feet of torque. Don't quote me on that torque number. I may be off by 5-ish. But anyway, naturally aspirated, tried and true. This one has the red valve cover option, which is not standard. Now, you're probably wondering what these are. And I did mention this is a hardtop. So there are 2 configurations for the Corvette. You have a convertible, which is a power folding top, and then you have the coupe. But the coupe has a removable hardtop. So this whole section is removable, which becomes a Targa. When you remove the top, it's designed, and that's what these come in for, to fit in perfectly right here. That way it doesn't rattle around, doesn't get scratched. Perfect. You got a handle right here to lower the rear trunk, and what I really enjoy is that this has soft close. These are air intakes, again, for cooling. Air goes through there, through the engine bay, cools everything off, and comes out through here. Up front as well, these vents right here, well, for cooling. And for your brake ducts. As you'll see, it's open through there. Okay, inside, like I mentioned, adrenaline red leather. You have memory seats on both sides. These seats are heated, they're cooled, which is very surprising in this class of vehicle. Even your steering wheel, it is heated, and I'll go over something about that as well. Your power folding mirrors. Hopping behind the wheel. Aggressive bolstering. You have a square steering wheel. Motorsport inspired, and you have the red centering line. This comes in handy, let's say in track driving or high performance driving. It stays in your peripheral vision, so you can place the car exactly where you want it to. Straight ahead, I have a heads-up display. I'm not sure if the camera's going to pick that up, and that has controls right here to adjust what is displayed, the position of it, and of course the brightness as well. You can also turn it off completely if you're not a fan of that. This steering wheel, like I mentioned, is heated, square, has red stitching, and you have controls for your center display, which is digital and very customizable. So you can customize what is displayed and how it's displayed. You have Z mode, which was already on, sorry. And you have controls for your cruise control, your volume, and your track. To the right of this digital display, you have your infotainment screen, hard volume knob, home button. You have your satellite radio that you would expect, factory navigation, Wi-Fi hotspot, wireless CarPlay, and wireless Android Auto. You have OnStar, Amazon Alexa, Spotify, the usual stuff. You also have a performance data recorder, okay? And how this works is there's a front camera, I believe, behind this bulkhead. And it kind of works like a dash camera, but the whole idea, let's say you're taking it to a track, you can record your driving and have a video overlay with different information from a G meter, RPM gauge, steering angle, your speed, everything. There's different modes for that as well. Push button start, remote start, again on a mid-engine sports car. Paddle shifters, that's a big thing as well. This has an 8-speed dual clutch transmission, rapid shifting, just like that. This is going to be your gear selector, and then of course your stability control, your front lift. Right now it's lowering, and then camera. So in addition to your standard backup camera, it also has your curve view cameras. So of course, in a vehicle like this, it's very easy to curb your wheels or hit a curb. This gives you a front view, so you don't do that. You can avoid that. Your backup camera, wide angle, standard angle, and that's going to be your front end. This right here, handrest, and then below that, you have a knob with your driving modes. So sport mode, track mode, tour mode, and my mode. It's all customizable in my mode. You can adjust the steering heftiness, so the weight of the steering, the stiffness of the suspension, the brake feel, so how stiff the brake pedal is, and of course the engine sound as well. When I put it into tour mode, I noticed that right away that active exhaust quiets down, it is valved, and you're all set. Now, behind there, you have your cup holders, you have your center armrest with USB-C, USB-A, and auxiliary, and then behind here, you have your wireless charger. Also, that silver grill right there, and on the doors, this has the Bose premium audio system, which is nice to have too, especially, again, in this class of vehicle. Now, that camera that I mentioned outside, you have your backup camera, and then above that, above the engine cover, you also had another camera. So this is, of course, your rearview mirror, but as you notice, not much to see there. You see the engine a little bit, and you have a very, very slim area to see behind you. To remedy that, you have a digital rearview mirror, so that camera comes into play, and there you go. Now, above my head, I have my OnStar, I have my HomeLink garage door opener, visors with mirrors on both sides, and then my removable top. There's one lever there, one there, and one there. It lifts up. One person can do it. It's very lightweight. Just a little bit awkward, but once you get a hang of it rather, it's very easy to place into the trunk. But yeah, that is, I think, a good summary of this vehicle. I'm sure there's a few things that I missed, but overall, I think this is definitely worth consideration. Very cool car. Cool. Looks great. Sounds great. Let's give it some exhaust. Yeah. Very fast. Handles well. Still practical. Yeah. Thanks for watching. You take care.